Hey everybody! So we're all in a good feeling, right? Because this is post Freiburg, and to our Freiburg friends, we're sorry, but we won. We're moving on to the quarterfinals, to the draw, and we're awaiting which group of bandits that we're playing next. Joined by me, because I wasn't there at the watch along, so I have Dave here. So Dave, recap it for us.
Oh man, coming off this is only a few minutes from the actual game finishing. So it was good. It was exciting. Bit emotional at times there that Vlahovic, I celebrated so hard at the initial Vlahovic goal that was called back. We all wanted it. He wanted it so hard. He saw that frustration too. You can see it in his face. But no matter, we persevered. We finally got that goal. Unfortunately, from the Freiburg perspective, it's not the way you really want to go with. You know, it's a tough look. I understand. It is the rules. It's just, I feel for you. But nonetheless, those are the rules. We got the penalty. You guys went down a man. Vlahovic ended up scoring that penalty. And I mean, at that point, I think it was done and dusted, really. And it wasn't until the 95th minute with Chiesa's goal at the end. It was classic Allegri ball throughout. We managed the game. We came out ahead. And here we are. We're going to the quarterfinals.
Yeah, absolutely. And I kind of wanted to touch on a little bit on that Vlahovic offsides, because a lot of, Kevin asked us in the chat and some folks are trying to figure out why that was offside. So I'll just be honest with you. The rules suck. The offside rule is absolute butt cheeks when it comes to this. But so what had happened was the Freiburg defenders were the last men's back, not the goalkeeper. So usually is whenever your goalkeeper is the last person back, like the absolute last person back, the offside lines becomes the defender. When the goalkeeper is not the last person back, it then becomes two defenders. So the last defender back doesn't count. So for example, remember when you guys play pickup footy? So like there's not a goalkeeper. It's just the person that's the furthest back becomes the goalkeeper and they can use their hands. It's kind of similar. The offside rule is similar to that concept to an extent except they just can't use their hands. So like, for example, say that, Farhad, Dave, and I are playing. Dave is not the goalkeeper. I'm the goalkeeper, but I'm in front of Dave and Farhad during a corner kick or a free kick, a scrum or something like that. And Dave is the furthest one back. So Dave becomes the goalkeeper, but he can't use his hands. And then Farhad becomes the final defender where the offside lines is drawn. That's kind of what happened there. But the problem is, again, it's not as blatantly obvious as an offsides line would be if there's a goalkeeper, because the goalkeeper's like 15 miles behind and then you have the defender. In this case, it was very, very close. And like the rule sucks. Like I hate this rule, but it is a rule, unfortunately. Because again, that's the same thing happened to Real Madrid in the Champions League final last season. Again, Alisson was ahead. Van Dijk assumes the role of goalkeeper, and the players were offsides there. Same thing what happened to Dusan, which, dude, it sucked, man, because he was celebrating like crazy.
Yeah, I was too. We all were.
I felt bad for him, but he got his goal with the pen. So with the penalty, it sucks because the guy was going down to make a tackle. But the thing is again, it's a black and white rule now. If the ball goes away from your side, doesn't matter, because that happened to us against Benfica, where Cuadrado was trying to brace his stomach and the ball hit his hand. They called a handball on that. For Freiburg, I feel for you guys. And this isn't me being condescending to you guys at all. You guys played a hell of a game, especially despite with the red card. You guys still put up shots, especially being a man down. You guys still pressed. You still put in shots. If I'm a Freiburg supporter, I wouldn't be upset. Hold your head up high. You had 12 shots this game. More passes than us. You had the ball. Despite being a man down, you still came. Like, you showed up. You came to play. I got to give it to you guys there. Unfortunately, the rule is the rule. We've had it happen to us as Juventini, where we look, this rule's stupid. But when the guy fell, he put his arm in front of his body, which in theory makes his body bigger to block Federico Gatti's shot. Which, since when did Federico Gatti decide to become a winger?
Again, so many calls. Frank, I think, said it in the live. Calls for him being a midfielder. He plays better as he goes forward.
I know, that's the one thing that I saw, but like Kind of recapping Gatti briefly was like the first run he made in like the first 5 or 6 minutes where I saw him and then he lost the ball and then he left the defense in a really bad spot and Freiburg
Yeah.
almost had a really good counter opportunity. That's the thing about Gatti that pisses me off is because sometimes he thinks he's a winger and goes up a little bit too high up and leaves his defense out to dry. But when he has the ball, he can throw in a little bit of zest to it, which is definitely something is quite impressive for a center back, which I'm surprised why he's not a midfielder. But hey, Frankie can see the future. I think Frankie's going to be right here and calling Gatti a future defensive midfielder. But overall, I mean, it was a good game by us offensively, even though a lot of people are kind of complaining about the Allegri ball-esque but we still had 15 shots this game. I kind of want to bring attention to after we went up a man and got the goal as well from Dusan with the penalty kick. Finally, Dusan breaks his duck. A lot of people were commenting on the watch along from what I've seen was, Allegri's just sitting back and chilling and blah, 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 and, Allegri ball-esque. I kind of want to address that real quick. So, guys, going into this game, Danilo and Bremer had yellow cards, and they were a yellow card away from missing the first leg of the next round. So, you're going to have to sit back and try to keep those guys from fouling players. Because, again, in theory, the game is done and dusted. Freiburg needs to score 3 goals with 1 less player. That is very, very difficult to do. And this isn't me, again, knocking Freiburg or anything like that. But you have, as Allegri, thinking ahead. One of the reasons why Allegri threw Berenachea, the reason why he threw Illing Jr. into the mix, as well as Sule, he threw those guys in there because, again, he needs to save everyone. And also, it's crucial because, hypothetically, guys, could you imagine if we draw Manchester United or Arsenal or even Roma because they're moving on to win against Real Sociedad or Sevilla, in theory? Like, if we played against one of those powerhouses in the next round of the Europa League and we're missing 2 of our defenders because they had to take fouls to cover a counterattack. Because the thing is even though we're up 1-0 this game, plus the previous leg, going up 2-0, you give Freiburg 1 goal, they start building momentum. The fans get behind them. I don't know if you guys saw it, but that stadium was electric. And I want to give kudos to the Freiburg supporters. You guys cheered your asses off, despite the situations that happened. So from a Juventino to a Freiburgo, we love you guys. Respect, man.
Yeah, I can barely hear the whistle sometimes. Sometimes it was the crowd whistling. Sometimes it was the ref whistling. There was a bit of confusion because you just really couldn't make it out all the time.
Yeah, so I got to give you guys credit for sure, man. This tie was a nail biter. I was nervous going into it. I was nervous in it. I was nervous. So Freiburg, man, respect to you guys. I wish you the best of luck for your Bundesliga season. I hope you guys finish top 4. It looks like you guys are close to finishing top 4. Hey, if you don't get top 4, you're still back in the Europa League. I wish you the best, guys. But overall, it was an Allegri-esque game today. Allegri job done and dusted. We got the goal, and we went full Allegri on this one. I can't complain about it because now we have to focus on the Derby d'Italia coming up next. So, Dave, you got any thoughts?
If you're watching this before it happens, I mean, the draw's happening 9 a.m. Eastern for the quarterfinals. Catch us there. Of course, catch us on the Twitch this weekend for that intermatch. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.